Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Danielle. I'm the marketing manager here. Apologies for the 2-minute delay. We're just hopping on now. So today's webinar is going to be on B2BOP, which is our B2B online order portal designed to streamline the ordering process for your sales team and your customers. They can place orders online 24/7. So a few introductions that we have today. We have Lucas Taylor, our Director of Operations. We have Zach Taylor, one of our consultants who's going to be leading the demo. And then we also have Paulo Serra, who is our Development Manager. So Lucas, Zach, and Paulo will all join back on towards the end of the demonstration to answer any questions. So like I said earlier, please enter them into the chat or the Q&A. We are going to keep your cameras and microphones off, by the way, so like I said, just chat and Q&A, please. A recording will also be sent out after the event, so of course you can email us directly into that email, or you can give us a phone call with any additional questions that might pop up later on. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to pass it off to Zach, and we will get started.
Thank you, Danielle. So today, guys, I'm going to go over the B2BOP customer portal here from Blue Link, improving the B2B online ordering experience. I have about 5 slides here that I want to go through first, and then we're going to just try to spend most of the time diving into the site, showing you guys the site, and kind of showing you a little bit about the functionality. If you have any questions, please write them down, and we will have time at the end of this webinar to kind of go over a Q&A, and we'll be able to answer the questions the best we can. So let's go ahead and jump into this. We're going to start really off by talking about the web and B2B. So it's a little different with B2B, and the way our online ordering has evolved has really been in a B2C world. B2B online ordering is definitely something that can help organizations immensely. One of the biggest things that I think the difference is between B2B and B2C is the relationships. In most B2B environments, there's a lot of relationships to be had, and they become very valuable and important. And so to me, that's one of the big differences. You actually care about the people that are placing orders with you. Unlike Amazon, Amazon doesn't really care about who we are. They just know what we order, how often we order it, and when we're going to order it. That's really all we are to them. But there's also multiple pricing contracts, different products mixes, documentation that is needed in the B2B world that may not necessarily be in the B2C world. And with B2BOP, we can help with all of that. Next, these are the top 5 ways that B2BOP can help improve your organization. Number 1 for me is order entry. You're basically getting rid of order entry on the ERP and not getting rid of it, but being able to basically do order entry from a website opposed to doing it from the ERP. Communicating promotions of products is really key. If there are things that you want to get rid of, or things that you have on sale, or things that you want to communicate to your customers, you can definitely do that on B2BOP. There are numerous ways to market items and work with vendors, coming up with marketing plans and utilizing B2BOP, and having B2BOP be one of those tools for your organization when you are talking to vendors in ways you can help market. Number 4, the website's always up. You can take orders at any time of day, and they will be there. When you wake up, if somebody does them late, they'll be there in the morning. If somebody does them early in the morning, they'll be there. You just always have the ability to accept orders. You don't need to rely on a salesperson. And the ROI is really good. The current promotion is $3.99 a month for the first 12 months, and it is $4,700 a year. If you're doing $1 million a year, you're basically using 0.5% of your sales to operate B2BOP. Shopify, different websites like that you can also go and run anywhere from $20 to $500. Most B2BOP or B2B customers would be more on the upper end of that price range. Then you also have to worry about hosting and design and making sure that it gets maintained. But with B2BOP, you can actually do all of that. So practice makes perfect. Websites are not set it and forget it. You do have to work at this. You do have to make choices, and you do have to set up the site the way you want it. Maintenance of a website is key to making a successful website. If you're not going to maintain it, it's not going to do well for you. But if you do a good job of maintaining it, it will do well for you. Continually work to improve and to make the website better. We do that here at Blue Link. We upgrade the B2BOP site constantly. We have a list of suggestions from customers, employees, about things we should be doing on the website, and we have multiple updates to the website throughout the course of the year. These are really the big goals that I want to convey to you guys and make sure that you guys understand after this webinar. Understanding the direct connection to the tables via the views that you guys already have in Blue Link. Image processing, we're going to talk about that real quick right now. Image processing is very important to websites because the images all need to be similar size and similar space, I guess is a good way to put it. Essentially, if you put a whole bunch of different size photos on a website, they're going to load wrong, they're going to take forever to load, they're going to really mess up the functionality of the website. Luckily, B2BOP has a built-in image processor. So as long as you have your images in your ERP, they're going to come over and they're going to get processed and they're going to fit into the website to help improve the speed of that site. It's really easy to use. It takes some time to getting used to, but it's really easy to use after you learn about it. Promoting items to customers, I want to make sure that you guys understand that. Kind of going over a simple system setup and then seeing what an order entry looks like. All right, now so we're going to navigate here to the B2BOP site, and I also have the ERP up so that we can kind of go over an order as we place it. Now, I'm already logged in here, but this is the home page. So this is a piece that I think is really neat. It's really cool. It can take some time to get used to, but this is a home page for the B2BOP site. It is fully configurable. We will go over that in the configuration, but you can basically put anything here that your heart desires. You can see that we have these images here, and these images are actually clickable and go to a direct part of the B2BOP site. So if you're on the home page and you want to direct customers to specific things or give them the option to go to certain things, you can do that here. You can see there's a moving banner on this, text. We're going to go over that in the configuration. So as I mentioned previously, I do a lot of sales. I do a lot of training and configuration calls for the B2BOP site. So I'm going to try to cram these 1 hour long meetings into about 15 minutes for you guys. So I am going to kind of go fast through this, but there are some things that I do think are very valuable to know, especially if you're looking to purchase the B2BOP software. Once again, this will happen during your configuration call and your training calls, and you'll get more information about this. But I'm just going to try to do my best to give you a big overview of it. So you can see up here, we have all 5 tabs up here. Yeah, 5 tabs. Configuration, user, account info, shopping list, shop. The reason I have all 5 is because I'm a site admin, which we will go over when we talk about the users, but this is where everything gets configured for the website. Most of this is basically set, and you don't really have to worry too much about it, but you have a site config, a shop config, a theme config, an account config, a customer config, and a user config. These will configure the entire site. Most of these up here, API, report, email, these are things that you're not going to need to touch. The SQL view config, this is one thing that I do like to go over with everybody because this is where the data comes from. So if you're in this webinar, then you know about inventory item maintenance, you know about accounts receivable maintenance or customer maintenance, and you know about orders and order history. These are all the views that are connected to the B2BOP website from the ERP. These views can be changed and altered, and we can do that for you. If you want to show specific data, we can alter these views to allow showing of that data. The home page here, this is what I was talking about. This is fully configurable. You can see that we have all of these things set up. That's what you were seeing. These are the image blocks that we clicked on that went to a specific URL. There was a banner. This is the HTML block that was the scrolling words. You can see over here on the left, these are all your kind of options that you have. The text block and the HTML block, you actually get to customize or choose the size of these blocks when you create them. If you click on them, it'll ask you how wide and how high you want it. and then you can basically configure this to be what you want. You can also click on this button to not show a home page at all if you don't want a home page. The shop config, this is going to basically be all your settings for the shop page. So you're going to have general product details. So this is going to be where if you wanted to show multiple images, you could. If you wanted to show different information about items, you could. If you wanted to show units of measure, you could. And then the shop page is going to be the main shop page. So these are the filters at the top that you'll see here on the shop page. You can add, take away. You can change the way your columns are sorted. You can show you can expand the brands and the categories if you want, but all of this is right here in the configuration page. The theme is going to talk about all about the sites, the colors, the images. So one of my favorite things to show people is the site colors because there literally seems to be an endless amount of colors that you can choose and where you want them to choose. And if you go ahead and click on this show where image, it's going to show you what color that is going to be when you change it. So if you just click on it, it'll show you where. Let's click on a different one, delete, remove buttons, right? So if you want to change the color of your delete or add button, your delete buttons, you can. You can basically change the color scheme to whatever you want. The account info or account config is going to be all about the account information page. So it's going to be about the customer being able to view their order history, print off their invoice. What information do you want to show to the customer, take away from the customer? Whatever it is you want to do, show to your customer in the customer account info page, you will be able to. For an example, we had a customer who wanted to show the salesperson name and phone number so that if their customer was on the B2BOP site and they just went to the account info and they wanted to know who their sales rep and their phone number, it was right there in the account info page. Customer config is going to basically allow you to limit customers to contracts. So if you want everybody to see everything on your website, then you can just allow that. If you want to limit what customers can see based on their contracts, you can do that as well. Then you're going to have sales rep maintenance and default permissions. So now we're going to jump over here to the users page. This is where you will see all your users. This is where you would add all your users. To add a user is really simple. You just click the add user button, enter in an email, first name, last name. You need to select a role for that user. User is just the basic user, which will be given the default permissions below. They essentially just get the shop, shopping list, and account info page tabs. And then you're going to have a customer admin. Customer admin is going to be the person that would set up users for your customers. So if a organization you worked with had like call it 10 buyers or 10 purchasing people and they had a purchasing manager and the purchasing manager wanted to set up all the users for their buyers underneath them, that would make them a customer admin. Then you can have a user be a sales rep, whether they get access to all customers or just their customers that they're assigned to in the ERP, and then a site admin, which is exactly what I am logged in here as now. So I get all of the tabs up top. So that's the users. It's really easy. If you want to edit a user, you just click on the three dots. You'll be able to edit the user. Very simple. And then when you load up, we can actually import users for you if you need to, if you have a list of users already. But when you have them loaded in here, you just can click this email inactive button and it will email all the inactive customers. So if you need them to verify the account, they can. Now we're going to jump over here to the account info page. This is pretty straightforward, pretty easy. This is going to be all the information from customer maintenance. And then order history, this is where it's going to allow them to see their orders and print off their invoices. So if we click on a order that actually has been posted, we can print off an invoice. Here, it will print off to a new tab. One thing that you have to make sure to be aware about is the pop-up blocker. Most of the time when people try to do this the first time, the pop-up blocker pops up and then it won't allow the invoice to print. You just have to allow it and then you can print it again. So now you can see we printed off an invoice. They'll be able to print off T3 reports, EPCIS files, anything like that from this page as well. Next is going to be shopping lists. This is a really nice feature if you have customers who are placing orders for the same thing consistently. So you can see like this example of a list is a weekly order. So this is basically just putting all the items into a shopping list. If you want to select them all, you can, and then you can just move the items to the cart. Now to the fun part, the shop page. This is the page that everybody basically goes to. You can see up here, we have these banners that can get inputted in the configuration. These are scrollable and they are going to be clickable here in the very near future. So like I said, promoting items with vendors, it's like you can run 5 banners up top here and you can basically work with 5 different vendors if you wanted to, and you could make those banners clickable to go to those products to purchase them. You can also do these banners with anything else that you could want as well. So this is the main shop page. These are the filters I was talking about earlier up here. You got the specials and the small wares, and then we've got the categories. We don't have them expanded, but you can see all the categories here, which are set up in the ERP, along with the brands that are set up in the ERP. To place an order or to add items to a cart, it's very simple. Just kind of click on here and you can add them. If you click on the add cart button multiple times, you can see that it will increase the quantity and the price. And then we'll just go ahead and click checkout and then proceed to checkout. Quick add is a feature here. If you know the product code or description, you can type it here and add it to the cart. And then basically when you're done, you just click proceed to checkout. Type in test here, and then if we want to type in a purchase order, we can. And then what we'll do is go ahead and click complete order. You can see that it's processing. It gave us a confirmation. If I go back to account info and go to order history, you can see this is the order that I placed. Now let's go take a look at it on the ERP under sales order review. It should be at the bottom of the screen. And if I go ahead and double click on the sales order to open it up, you will be able to see that the item came over. I did actually input a PO number, so that came over. You can see that shipping notes exist, and then we can take a look at the items that I ordered. These are the items that were in stock. These are the items that are out of stock. But you can see that's about how fast your order gets submitted once you click submit. You can set the status to be whatever you want, web order, B2BOP order. That can be configured when you do your configuration call. Did that as fast as I could, but that is a good, solid demonstration over the B2BOP site. You will learn more in a configuration call and training call if you decide to add this as a component to your Blue Link programs. It is a very good program, and like I said, we're always improving it. So now that I guess we're done going over this, we will answer any questions that you guys may have.
Yes, thank you very much, Jack. I'll bring Lucas and Paulo back on screen as well. And we did get one question. Let me bring myself back. So we did get one question, and we're asking, can you preview HTML changes prior to implementing them?
So I'll step in there. When you implement B2BOP, we actually give you a playground site as well, which we call our web test site. So you get a production site and a web test site. You can actually make those changes on your test site and preview them there before you carry them over to your live site.
Perfect. We have another question about how the product page looks like.
I will share my screen really quickly. I have a sample product page up here. Let me know if you guys can see this.
Yep, we can see that.
One thing I'll mention is this is configurable too. So certain sections of this, the location section we can hide. You can add more info from the inventory screen on the Blue Link side as well and show it here too. This is usually what it looks like out of the box. And then if you have multiple images, it will span down and you can click through those.
Perfect. And we have another question that came in that says, can you restrict the order history so customers cannot see invoices from previous years?
Paulo, I'm going to let you chime in there really quick.
Sorry, I was muted. Currently, no, but that's a great feature request, so we will put it on the board.
There's a default date range, though, so when a customer opens it up, it will show a default range of orders and invoices, but yeah, currently you can't restrict that.
So they can see invoices for their entire history.
Yep.
Perfect. Another question. So user enters PO. If a PO is required, does it stop the order process until a PO is entered?
Yes.
Yeah, so you must enter your PO number.
Yep, it uses the same restrictions that the order entry screen does with that field in Elite.
So 2 questions about the price, because we did include price in the emails. So the price after the current promo, does that look like? And then does the price include additional storage for product images?
Yeah, so we'll start with the price going forward. So we're discounting to $3.99 for 1 year, and then after that it's $4.99. As far as the storage goes, one of the things that happens when you do sign up with the B2BOP site, we also set up a web server. And on that server, you do get dedicated storage for images. Now, if you had 30,000 items and tons of different images, you might need to expand that storage. But the billing works the exact same way as your hosted server with the 25 gig blocks for $40 per month.
I want to add to that. All images for the B2BOP, so when you upload them into the Elite, you're going to upload your 4 meg image. It doesn't really matter what high res image you upload. When it gets pulled into B2BOP, the first time it gets pulled in, it will be scaled down for the correct size. I have not seen, I've seen multiple customers with 3 sites, and the total image storage is well less than 1 gig. Where the original image storage on the ERP side is in the vicinity of 5-6 gigs. So storage for images, I don't see it as a problem.
Perfect. Thanks, Apollo. Is Blue Link considering developing a B2C site? I think for now.
Yeah, somebody else answer that.
Yeah, I'll say right now, not at this point. We're focusing on the B2B site. And one of the things we're doing as part of this project, we still have some of our customers using the legacy web venture site that we are trying to move over to this site as well. So our main focus right now is on the B2B side. We are looking at potentially setting up a browse without login feature down the road to this site, but we're focusing on B2BOP right now.
And for now, we do have partners with Shopify, Magento, other e-commerce platforms if you do want to do a B2C site.
Yep, and some of our customers that have both spaces too will actually implement B2BOP and then set up a site like Shopify for their retail business.
Lucas, can you talk a little bit more about replacing Web Venture? We do have a question about that.
Yeah, for sure. So we've been going through our customer base that currently uses Web Venture, and as we're adding features to B2BOP that were Web Venture features, we're making sure those customers get transitioned to B2BOP if they're interested in doing so, because it's built on a new technology stack and we're currently always adding features to it. We do have a set of some customers that are still on Web Venture where there are certain features that are almost completed in B2BOP, as well as some of our CSAS customers that we're going to be starting to approach to move to B2BOP as well. But yeah, the goal is to get everybody using our B2BOP site because of the fact that it's a newer technology stack and we're always adding new features to it.
Perfect. There's a question that just came in, so I'll read that one before we end off. The question is, if using a Shopify or similar for retail sales, is there a feature to move or copy orders into Blue Link order entry?
So basically, if you're using a Shopify site already, you would have to work with one of our third-party integrators to set up an API connection between the Shopify site and the Blue Link API to translate that data. So it is an option. You just have to reach out to us and we can provide some integrators we work with to do that integration for you.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it. So I'd like to thank Zach for stepping in for a little last-minute demo there. Appreciate that. Lucas and Paulo, also thank you for stepping in for the live Q&A. So you will receive the recording, as I mentioned multiple times. You can always ask questions there. But thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We look forward to chatting in the future.